welcome to Game Soup with Chloe and Kayla. This is a brand new year and the same old podcast where we throw ideas in a pot and see what's cooking. I'm Kayla. Happy New Year, Chloe.
Happy New Year, Kayla.
We've not properly sort of spoken since the start of the year, have we?
No, we've not done a soup in like 2 or 3 weeks because you were getting a new laptop and then holidays and whatever. So we're kind of finding the flow again. We'll figure it out. How was your New Year's?
My New Year's was all right. I sort of went out to a house party, was the main thing, with my boyfriend, which was nice. There were like later plans that I ended up not being able to go on to because I had not sufficiently charged my chair overnight and it was going to die. It did die on my way home. It died like thankfully right outside my flat, but so that's a lesson learned about remembering to charge things overnight, which was useful. Well, like that aside, it was a good New Year's. What did you do? Did you do anything nice?
Yeah, I mean, I had a shift at work on New Year's Eve daytime, and it confuses me how many people go to the cinema on New Year's Eve. I don't get it. And then, I went to a house party. It was nice. I drank the rest of the vodka that I started at Halloween. Because that's how often I drink. And it was fun. Managed to stay up till about 2 o'clock until I fell asleep on the sofa.
Nice. I think I got fairly drunk even though I was not out for that long, which meant I sort of did some stuff to sober up when I got home, which meant even though I got back in around 2, I feel like I probably didn't actually get to bed until like 4, because I realized in the little like bag that is under my new wheelchair that came with the chair, which is very useful, I can fit 6 ciders in. And also, because before this, I think I might mention this before, I had like a little family Christmas lunch on like the 20th or something, and because I had like my nephews around who were just sort of like 4 and 1, 3 and 1, I think. Oh god, I hope my family don't listen to this. I'd got some fruit shoots in which they did not finish, so I was like, I can fit in 6 ciders, and there's room for 2 fruit shoots as well. That's thinking smart style.
Blackcurrant or orange, though, is the question.
No, it was the blackcurrant ones.
Nice.
I had a weird thing though, because like from the 23rd to January 1st, I just had a very busy day. Like I had someone staying over, not a busy day, I had a busy period. I had someone staying over for Christmas and then like a second person staying over like the day after Boxing Day, which meant there was more people in my house. And then I went to a party of Laurie's family's like the day after that. Then I came back. Then the next day was New Year's. And like, so I had a period of kind of like, of being around people constantly. And then we're recording this on like the 6th of January. And like my housemate was away until like the other day. So for like the first like 4 or so days of the year, I went from like seeing loads of people to a hard abrupt shift to seeing like no one. But because I have a power chair, it's easier for me to sort of get myself out now, which is one benefit. But it was a weird one extreme to another, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I got sick for the last week since New Year's Day, basically. Not a hangover, just sick. And it was weird just having to stay in the house. And it was like, I get a second little Christmassy period. Even if I'm sick and just watching TV all the time, like still.
Yeah, I don't think many people in the post-Christmas pre-New Year period do much else than sit and watch TV. So I guess it's not that unlike being sick. Do you have any like game or pod related New Year's resolutions now we're in the big 2026?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to release at least one big game this year. Like, obviously, we've got Bitter Cold coming soon, TM. But last year we didn't release anything. I don't think all year, other than like maybe like an extra time. I did the thing for Die, Um, but like we didn't actually release a new game.
Mm.
So obviously we got Bitter Cold in the pipeline. I would like to get back onto Clerics. Um, but also like I kind of want to make this the year that I actually put some effort in because I want to see about opening a game store. And I know it's kind of like an anomalous sort of goal, but like I want to actually do it because I've been thinking about it for like 2 years now. So I want to make moves in that direction.
I guess it would be worth at least seeing if there's stuff there or stuff you could do in your life that could make that a more achievable long-term goal rather than just like a idle dream.
Yeah. Like looking at business plans and stuff. And like I've been looking at like places to rent on Zoopla for ages, but like actual business plans and loans and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I know nothing about business plans or stuff. I think you've probably taken some stuff in your life more seriously than you've realized in past years.
Yeah.
But that's nice. I am excited to see how what clerics ends up becoming.
Yeah. What how about you? What's your goal for the year?
I've got some like early projects to finish off in the first half of the year, which is nice. I sort of said in theory that my year just gone, 2025, was supposed to be a year I was slowing down. And I think I didn't fully manage that. I didn't do a Kickstarter last year, which was probably for the best, but also, I probably would have done if I wasn't moving, which maybe isn't in itself like I still did a lot of similar work on stuff. I also that's kind of misleading. I didn't do a Kickstarter or a crowdfunder by myself. MechRitter
Yeah.
obviously happened, but that was a much lower stress experience for me compared to every other crowdfunding thing I've done. So like there's part of me that's like I should still maybe be trying to slow down this year, but also I do have some like MechRitter will be finished this year and will be coming out, so that's exciting. Also got like a um upcoming thing I've been hired to write for, which I'll just be mysterious about. But that's exciting because I rarely get the chance to do just some writing. So I'm excited about that. But I don't necessarily have any sort of clear big projects because I'm not wanting to rush anything to a point of completion because I think that's where I can start to resent a project if it takes loads of time and simultaneously feels like I didn't give it enough time.
Yeah, it's like
So
crunch sucks at anything.
I definitely think like this will be a year where I do much more development on Asphodel FC. On one of our lost episodes, because we've had a few aborted recordings, I talked more about like some good realizations I'd had in terms of where I might be tweaking things, giving that more of a structure. I also, over the Christmas break, I play tested my jousting game, The Gallant and the Virtuous, which mostly worked very well. There were some small things I could see changing. And I've added a sort of move to all of the playbooks, and then I think I've figured out I'm going to rework the structure because the structure was actually. I have a thing. This actually, or like, because sometimes I think it's very elegant if you say like do as many X as there are players, and as elegant as that feels, I feel it's actually quite bad because it means you cannot figure out like pacing of a session unless you have an exact player count. So I had something
Yeah.
like that, and that's been replaced with a harder act and scene structure because I think that's nicer as an early teaching tool, and it's very easy to ignore if you start to want to do more stuff with it when you get through like the post time skip things. And so yeah, I having done a lot of those revisions, I'm probably going to try and release another like work in progress version of that on my Patreon soon. And yeah, that's a game that's still in this phase of I need to figure out what its size is before I do it. And now I have the system working like I want. The big thing next for it is writing all of the facilitation advice and that stuff. And then it's the thing of like, if this book comes out about 50 pages there, I'm like, okay, that's too small for a book. So at that point, it would probably get a digital release while I waited to, and then, while I then maybe explored what's a complementary game
Yeah, to bundle
that
it
could
with.
be
Yeah.
paired with this in an anthology. But if it say comes out at like 70 pages, I could see myself maybe doing some like quick start stuff to round it out to a 90, then taking some time with like art and things to get that to be more of a book, and it's just maybe a standalone release.
Yeah.
These are all things to figure out, and it's one of those things. It's like because it's got playbooks, that is a thing where what the writing isn't always equal to how many pages that's going to translate to, because those need to be grouped very section wise.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. No, I mean, I've definitely thought about that. Like, we've thought about like re-releasing Goblin and Kobold Country together, and it's like, do we add a new game in there? Do we try to figure out what is new? What's the draw to this? But yeah,
I think for me on this, it's like sort of just depending, trying to see, because it's. I talked a bit about this on my blog. I think I've probably talked about it on episodes before, of like both like the switch to doing lots of anthology stuff. I've talked about that obviously because of my new recent releases, but it means I'm very uninterested in a physical release of a game that's just going to be a zine I can sell for like £10 or £12.
yeah,
Because for the amount of work, that kind of does set like a ceiling on what I could raise from conventions or royalties, which is how I'd make most money on physical sales, as opposed to like direct things through my store. So because I'd want it to at least be the size where it's a paperback printing, it's like, if it is a 50-page game, I'd run out. And maybe it means I just look through my back catalog and see, what touches on similar themes of this. I could see how many of like, because like obviously this is kind of about rivals, so is Nemesis and Ballad, which are the last two zines I have. So there's a world where if those zine runs are kind of out, that means I bundle these three in as a rivalry collection. That would be kind of different to how I've done the anthologies before, because here it would be like these all use actually quite different mechanics in different ways.
Yeah, they're just bundled
and different tools even. Yeah, with the thematic link. Like, and I think that could be interesting. And also it'd probably, because the thing I am aware of when like putting a third anthology on is like, I need to make sure these don't eat the others. Like, I think I'm with the Damned did a good job of not eating Out of the Fold, because like it has a more specific pitch by being like music and tarot. And that means Out of the Fold still has its own pitch with just like the playing cards. And obviously there is, I think that's probably why it does make sense to diverge into doing like maybe more thematic links, because like I can't do another thing which is these are more playing cards, because then it's like I'm rendering a previous collection not irrelevant, but like they're breathing,
they're stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, I was going to say they're breathing the same air and there's not so much oxygen to go around. And then I was like, maybe that's a grim visual. Maybe we don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Actually, there was another thing. How was your QuestCon over the Christmas period? Because I've not spoken to you since you did that.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Didn't do it at all?
Because everyone was hungover, and I got a bit upset, but then we watched the Stranger Things finale, so I was fine. So it's whatever. I'm organising to run some Dragon Baiting soon, and whatever,
Yeah, when you told me it was going to be on New Year's Day, I was like, that does sound like nice. I don't think I could get anyone to be anywhere on New Year's Day.
Yeah, it's like some people would have came, but it's like there was no buses either, so that was a total no-goer. So,
yeah.
I don't know, can't have a privilege, I guess.
Maybe it's a nice idea to bank for like a future birthday thing or something.
Yeah.
I could even see myself. I need to be. I don't yet have an active group, but I am thinking of trying to sort of form one in the new year. But going back to my last comment about grim visuals, and we are admittedly 15 minutes in, but welcome to the Hangman episode.
Yeah.
Hit the jingle, Chloe.
Hangman. You already said A, but it's Hangman.
Oh, we've not done a good hit the jingle against each other in a while. But I think I just messaged you. It may have been one night or one morning, be like, is there a mechanic? Is there a game in Hangman? And your reply was, yeah, the game's called Hangman. And then I had to message you, be like, I'm in a fucking role playing game, you bitch. But what you pitched back an idea to me first, I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I can't quite remember what it was, but hang on, let me find the message.
I think the main thing
Um,
was you said it was like detective game.
yeah, so like a detective game, I think you like go into the scene and like honestly, this is more of a Facebook Flash game, but I think like detective game where the more letters you get in the Hangman, the more clues you get. So it's like maybe the Hangman is like the title of the case, and you have to like try to work out what it is.
I I have an idea that's similar to this. Instead of like, because I then also had the thought of like, okay, but is how much of the hangman draw is drawn also has to matter. So maybe it's a case of like every time you're investigating a scene or something, you're told there is a clue, and you need to guess what this clue is by doing the hangman.
Yeah,
But then it's like whatever the drawn noose left is, that's going to determine. It's maybe almost like a pre-scene roll that determines what goes on, because it's like if you get the clue, which is going to be knife, and you've only drawn like the banister, it's like, okay, this is determining the consequences that happen while you are searching here. They're kind of small, you maybe leave a bit of a mess, and so someone knows you're onto them, but like you've not had to you've not like fully, you've not got in trouble. Whereas if it's like, oh yeah, you fully get drawn to the noose while uncovering hatchet, which is a longer word, obviously. Then it's like, okay, yeah, like you find the hatchet here that is a clue, but also like you find the hatchet because it is thrown at you by a killer who is now who's
coming
like
to get you.
caught you
Yeah,
back in the scene. Like something like that, where it's like, yeah, you're finding the clues via the words,
yeah,
and but then that determines how long the search took. And maybe that's interesting because that cuts out the searching room to room thing.
yeah. I think like in my original pitch, it was like the faster you get it, the more clues there are in the scene, or like the more helpful the clues are. But I like that it's like a pre-scene roll that is like, yeah, okay, so maybe there's a couple of clues at once, and you can only like solve one of them.
Or I like the idea of actually maybe there's like each place has like 3 clues, which are words of escalating size. They're all sort of done at once.
Yeah, like I
But
say
then it's
A
a
and it fills it in on all three. Yeah,
yeah, but then there's the thing of like you only the then consequence for however high your hangman is. Um because I think they're also marked on each word separately. Even though you're guessing at once, it's marked on all 3, but the failure will get you 2 lines on both. Whichever word you complete first, then that's the one where it determines A, which hangman activates, and then the other clues are maybe cut off from you if you've got a quite bad hangman. So there's a part where you're like, ooh, maybe I know what the lowest word is, but I now kind of want to avoid it because I really want to get the bigger clue.
yeah,
But also continuing to ignore it and not get it is probably going to mean that's got like a whole hanged person or something. Maybe that would, I feel, take weird actual testing to just figure out how multi-hangman would work. But I think there's something interesting there, detective hangman. But
yeah,
the other pitch I said, and why I said the hangman episode, is I was then like, I think there's also an interesting, like, you don't need to do a hangman's noose when playing hangman. Like, you can work the same mechanic on any kind of drawing which is just made lines at a time.
yeah. Like it could be something that's easy to draw. So like a 5-pointed star or
Yeah. TNT.
another thing. Yeah, like yeah,
TNT, which involves first just drawing the words TNT and then just a box around it. And like, I think maybe there's a fun thing in like a, I don't know here of like then what the words relate to. Because in my mind, it's like, okay, the GM is drawing something that if it is allowed to complete, because the word isn't core, is going to go off.
yeah,
Maybe this is a magic game. I feel often when we come out of a weird mechanic, my first go-to place of how to resolve it is to magic, which is maybe because
magic can do
I don't know.
anything and it's reductive. Yeah,
Yeah, abstract mechanics feel like they map onto that well, whereas obviously like we kind of need to figure out the fuller mechanic first if we were then making an argument of like and now this represents strength, then it's a bit sort of like, okay, how?
Yeah,
Whereas
no,
just saying
I
this
mean,
represents the magic you do.
I think this could just be like, yeah, we're imagining noir 40s detectives, and if they fail to find the knife in the scene or whatever, then later the killer has the knife or whatever. And it's like, okay, we know we fucked up not finding a knife, but we don't know how that manifests until the GM later brings it back in. I don't think it's immediately like the TNT goes off immediately.
Yeah, maybe it is a thing of just like the. Maybe it's also a fun thing of like there's the GM move list is a bunch of shapes you can draw,
Yeah.
where it's like where they have different things. Like TNT would be quite a lot because that's I'm not going to count up the lines in my head right now. That would be terrible air. But like that's going to be more than like
12.
stuff like, a stick man. Like a stick man is way shorter than Hangman. That's the thing of like, cool, person is interrupting you in this scene.
Yeah.
And so there's both an element of like the players are trying to figure out the word, and they're also maybe trying to take a guess at like, oh wait, what shape is getting close to interrupting us?
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes that means they abandon things where they're like, oh fuck, I can see that's a guy. I'm gonna leave this clue. I'm running now.
Yeah,
I
we
think
don't
I
know if it's
probably
the
know.
police chief or the murderer, so we're gonna skedaddle.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, that could be the same thing, which is this is definitely like these kind of thing where it's like this couldn't be a 1-page game because it does need a couple more pages to explain it and the permutations and how it interacts.
Yeah.
But it is gimmicky in the. I
It's
think it's an
zany.
interesting enough gimmick, but it's like everything is having to come around this fact of playing Hangman. And I reckon you are probably right that it is called the Hangman case or something because you
Yeah.
just go with like theming off of the sort of simplest thing. It's maybe a game where you write it once, and then like if you ever reuse this mechanic in something else, the second time will probably be way better.
Yeah. But I think like the case could go like multiple ways depending on like if you find stuff and like the ending like conflict scene or like the who done it, whatever, around the drawing room could be like really different depending on how it goes. So I think it like does have scope for like going in different directions rather than just being a sort of on rails whatever.
Oh yeah, I think it would be. That's the thing. I think it would be a quite interesting GMing challenge because
Yeah.
GMing would often be about mad-libbing stuff behind censor bars to figure out what's the sort of interesting thing. I don't think it's on rails so much as like, and that's the thing. I think it would take a lot of confident GMing because you're having to GM with a kind of completely alien mechanic. But I guess what you're actually GMing with is just words, which are, it's then just very much focused on the power of individual words and the clue or not they represent. To be fair, if you did write this game once and it was good, I realize now you could also rewrite it so many times. Because you first said like noir. The Hangman case originally a noir. Then we're doing the Hangman case 1999. It's a high school version, Veronica Mars, Brick-esque. We're also then dropping Hangman 20XX. That's the same kind of thing, but now it's Blade Runner. Some of the word, you've got new words like robot and things like that. We're then talking Hangman Old West.
Yeah, 1492. It's magic.
You can
stuff
rewrite this game so many times for different settings, and it also probably would. The thing is, it would take a bit of extra work each time. I think like the work you'd be doing would be worth it, but also everything would feel so. Very like... MCU Phase X going like, and now Hangman Legacy.
No, I mean like. You could absolutely just have like, oh, the main rules for this are like 20 pages long, and now we have 180 pages of adventures, which are just different cases in different settings.
No, I think it's one at a time, and each one is its own individual hardback book. There is like an extra page of a secret rule book you get on the back page of every one. That's the only way to actually get this extra rule book is just by buying every single other one. The collector's editions only.
And you have to solve the Hangman and send it in to Game Soup and see if it's. Did we get this correct solution? It's like, no, you got a line.
It's because I do feel like making this game would be a lot of work.
Yeah, but it'd be fun.
It would be fun. I don't know if I'm that interested in doing a detective thing, but maybe if I do write down this gimmick idea and see what it is, I'll sit down. It also wouldn't surprise me if someone listening to this wants to drop us a message and kill our cash grab dreams and say, yeah, no, someone already made this. It's on itch in
It's Werewolf
2019.
the Apocalypse. Have you heard of it?
I don't know. It's obviously not going to be something like I'd be very surprised if it turns out this is a major mechanic in a popular trad game that I just somehow didn't know about. But I definitely wouldn't be surprised if someone has done this exact pitch off of itch just because it's like, I don't know. I think there's a fun in going like this other kind of game or whatever. How can this be a role playing game? And I do feel to some extent we've maybe landed on an obvious route. Or write in if you also want to say, no, Kayla and Chloe, I don't think anyone has ever came up with an idea as brilliant and unique as you two just had here.
And you're perfect and gorgeous, and we love you.
We'll buy this idea for £20 million.
Thank you for listening to Game Soup.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.